And here come all the regulars. And the newbie. Okay, welcome to Trash Talk Live number 35. This is the amazingly 35th one of these. We're about to surpass the number of actual podcasts we've done, aren't we, Pete?
No, we had almost 50 of those, so we got a little ways to go.
Okay, so probably by this time next year, because we're going to ramp it up next year for sure. Well, I mean, 1 week from now, approximately this time, I guess we're going to be about halfway through my auction.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, people will have picked up bargains and also picked up stuff and say, why did I pay so much for this junk?
It's all for good cause. It all will help Tandy Assembly run for years and years to come.
Yeah. So I'm sure everyone knows the simple rules around here. Mute your mobile phones if you've got one. Mute yourself on Zoom until it's time to talk. And try not to use bad language. The only person allowed to use bad language here is me. Because in Australia, we use bad language to accentuate sentences. All right, we've got a small group today, so it looks like it's going to be pretty quick. Obviously, this is the pre-Tandy Assembly trash talk. So I'm going to put Peter on, and he's going to give us the rundown of the show, all the people and comments, and get us all G'd up for the event. So over to you, Pete.
Sounds good. So let me share my browser. Get started. So we have a small group here, but we have millions watching on YouTube. So, well, maybe not millions. All right, let's talk about Tandy Assembly. Tandy Assembly 2023. This is the sixth one, I think. We started in 2017. We canceled the 1 year for COVID in 2021, I think it was, right? So, yep. Or 2020. But we're back stronger than ever. The pre-registrations for the tech track are, I think, the strongest we've seen. So we're going to have a full house of people on Friday listening to Tandy luminaries speak about your favorite line of microcomputers and experts, and even have some humor along the way. So let's talk about Tandy Assembly, what's going to happen. All right. So Friday is going to be the tech track. You get there Friday at 1 o'clock. We have 5 classes ready to go for you. We'll quickly go through them. So Rude Browers is going to have the first class called Designing and Building a 512K RAM Extension for the TRS-80 Model 2. So Rude shared one of his boards last year with me. I actually made a trade with him for it, and I tested it out this past year, and it works exceptionally well. If you didn't know, the TRS-80 Model 2 does support up to 512K of RAM. It just wasn't physically feasible because you'd need so many RAM boards and there are only so many slots. But with Rude's board that he created, it's a single kind of mini board that plugs into the TRS-80 Model 2 bus and allows you to address the full 512K of RAM. So for Model 2 fans, it's an incredible device. And he's going to talk all about how he created that, how he built it, and how he's sharing it with the community. Maybe he'll build one for you. And then the next tech track class will be Jeff Burt, talking about cosmetic and physical restoration of vintage computers. I believe Jeff taught a class last year. Mm-hmm. That was very well received. More on the, I guess, the technical details, but this is more on the physical appearance of your vintage computers, which is a big issue for us, right? Because we want these machines that we display to look like they just came out of the Radio Shack computer center back in 1979 or 1980, whenever. And so Jeff has all the tips and tricks on how to make that happen for your computers. Hey, look who's third tech track teacher. Mav, tell us what you're going to be talking about.
I'm doing light entertainment this year with Eric, where it is an interesting topic. I mean, as much as we love so many of what I call Radio Shack's home runs, you know, things that are that were really, you know, great machines or great accessories or whatever. There's a whole swag of things which were just either crap or craptastic or just didn't fall, you know, fell short of the mark, is what I call it. So it started out as sort of the top 10 you know, crappiest accessories, but as I've developed the PowerPoint, I'm going to talk about these accessories and try to offer a defense for each of them as to what they could be, what they could have been thinking at the time that they came out, and what they are useful for, if anything, today. So and I've got my good mate Eric with me. He's going to bring some the things along to show and tell, in case we don't have any at Tandy Assembly to show. So yeah, it'll be a good one. And after the techie type of talks, yeah, this will be a nice one in the middle that won't tax your brain too much. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we put it in the middle on purpose, just sort of a break of the all the technical talk, give people a little intermission. Looking forward to that. And Eric, I need a picture from you, because if you don't send me one, I'm going to find the most embarrassing picture of you on the internet. I'm going to post.
I thought you had one.
Do I? I don't know. Maybe I do. I'll have to look.
I sent one last year.
Okay, I'll look for it.
Okay.
All right. So after Mav and Eric's talk will be Arno Puder and Matt Boyton talking about the TRS-IO++. So if you have followed Arno's work on the RetroStore card and then the subsequent TRS-IO card, every year he makes improvements and additions, and this year he's presenting the TRS-IO++. So it's an all-in-one solution that basically combines, it looks like combines everything that he's been working on into a single card. TRS-IO card has so many incredible possibilities for the community, because it offers things like networking, connecting to the internet, and you can create internet-enabled applications on your TRS-80 by using this card. That's just one of the small features it has. So really looking forward to seeing what the guys have, the improvements they've made to the TRS-IO. And then finally, the last class is going to be Tim Halloran. I think Tim has joined us, right? Tim, do you want to tell us about what you'll be talking about?
Yeah, thrilled to. Thanks. After last year's kind of keynote by Vernon about sort of the history of multi-DOS, this is going to be sort of an introduction to using it. Probably a lot of folks haven't used this DOS a lot. It hasn't had Fred support until last year, and but Vernon's been developing it since the original days, and it's got a lot of cool features. So I'll kind of go over those and show folks, my goal is maybe not so much to teach you how to type DIR or something, but more to go over kind of the cool features, so to kind of motivate folks to give it a try and dig in and enjoy multi-DOS as part of the hobby.
Excellent.
Is Vern still going to be able to make it?
I am not sure. Maybe he'll join. I'm not sure. He was still not 100%. I've obviously been chatting with him a bit as I find things. So, you know, that sort of thing. Like, I haven't found any bugs, so just questions for him. So, but I don't think he was 100% sure. We'll see if he joins and gives us an update.
Multi-DOS is one of the only TRS-80 operating systems still under active development by the original creator, maybe the only. So
it's probably the only one. Yeah.
Well, there's OS 9 too, right, on the color side. I think they're still working on that.
Yeah, that's true. It'd be good to see Vernon again. I hope he can. I hope he can make it. It'd be good if he was one of the regulars.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so that's going to be Friday, and then on Saturday we're going to open up the show floor for the exhibitors, and they're going to be 2 speakers on Saturday and 1 speaker on Sunday. So let's talk about the speakers and what they'll be talking about. So Lawrence Kestelute is going to be speaking about modern tools for working with the TRS-80. Any details here? He's going to present his suite of TRS-80 oriented websites, tools, and software libraries, including his cassette decoder, his online MyTRS-80, and TRS-80 tool. Yeah, Lawrence has created so many cool software tools for doing modern development in TRS-80. So that will be a great talk. Newcomer to Tandy Assembly, Stephen Frey, is going to be talking about the Dayton Microcomputer Association and their Dayton Computer Museum and its collection of Tandy computers. And apparently Stephen has written applications for the TRS-80 back in the day. He's going to talk about some of those. He's going to talk about a bunch of different accessories that they have in the museum. That should be really interesting. Let me just nip some people in here. Okay. And then Frank Palazzolo is going to be talking about TRS-80 graphics, specifically prehistory of TRS-80 graphics. So this should be interesting. So he's going to talk about the history and the influences of early machines that led up to why the TRS-80 ended up with, you know, the 64 by 16 character screen, 124 by 48 pixel graphics, including, like, everybody knows about the TV typewriter, but the Sol 20 and the Poly 88 all had influences on the design and Steve Leininger's design for graphics on the TRS-80. So that should be a really fascinating one as well. I believe Arno Puder joined us. Arno, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hey,
Great.
Pete.
So we already covered the tech track, but I want to give you an opportunity to talk about your tech track talk for TRS-IO++. Do you have anything to share with us?
Well, sure. So it's going to be about the latest collaboration between Matt Boyton and myself. So I've been fiddling with that for a year now. And, you know, as the tagline says, one car to rule them all. Just to be clear, I'm talking about TRS-IO and Pocket TRS, not about the other superior products that are out there in the market, but I can hold up what it looks like here. So we'll be talking about this here. Can maybe recognize that it has both a 50-pin connector and also a 40-pin connector. Has the usual ESP that we use in all the projects, and it has an FPGA, the Nano Tang 20K. And it can do TRS-IO for the Model 1, for the Model 3, and it can also be reversed in functionality to serve as a Pocket TRS. So our tech talk will just deep dive into how we made that happen. Of course, we have no slides yet, so we have like how many days left now, but I'm sure we'll have something to share with everyone. So I'm looking forward to seeing many of you then next week.
Awesome. I'm still working on my exhibit too. So,
Pete, quick
yeah.
question. I did want to talk about the meetup. Do you want to do that later, or do you want to first finish talking about Tandy Assembly?
Yeah, let's go through Tandy Assembly and we'll definitely get back to you on that.
Okay.
Arno
Thanks.
has really great news for the community as well. So, okay. So we went through speakers and we went through the tech track. So I do want to just have a word from our sponsors, because sponsors are the people that really get us over the finish line as far as funding Tandy Assembly. So, you know, we do charge for exhibitors to come, and that helps, you know, like the bulk of the funds that we need to pay for the hotel room and all the expenses that run the show. But the sponsors really get us over that line to make us, to give us the confidence that we can do this for, you know, at least a few more years in the future if for some reason funding dries up. So we really appreciate any folks or organizations who sponsor. So I just want to run through them really quick. So we have Ian Mavericks, The Right Stuff, is of course a sponsor every year for Tandy Assembly. Thank you so much, Mav. You know, Mav is the go-to for any items you need for your TRS-80 equipment, parts, even computers. and he'll ship them around the world. So thank you, Mav. Dusty's TRS-80. Dusty's online. Thanks for joining us in the middle of the or late night there, Dusty. TRS-80, it's the world's best leading TRS-80 newsletter today, and it's still actively, I think it's doing better than ever as far as content and contributions. So definitely thank you, Dusty, for supporting the show, TRS-80. TRS-80, TRS-80.com. That's, everybody knows, Ira Goldklank's master monster site of all TRS-80 information. Thank you, Ira, for supporting the show. Blair Robbins, an enthusiastic supporter of Tandy Assembly as an individual. Love meeting Blair every year at Tandy Assembly. I hope he's going to be there again this year. Thank you, Blair. Our own Eric Dittman is a supporter of Tandy Assembly. Thank you, Eric. Eric is a supporter every year. Tandy Emeritus. If you're not, I think that's how you pronounce it. If you're not familiar with Tandy Emeritus, it is a group of Tandy engineers who were engineers back in the day, including a regular here, John Elliott, and some other people in the background. Sometimes he joins us, Ken Bruckner and Sam Sawyer. So, you know, you should be familiar with those names because they were all key people developing these Tandy systems back in the day. And they've gotten together and they've created an organization where they're creating new products specifically for the Tandy 8-inch systems, the big business systems. I'm not sure if they're going to have anything to announce this year, but they had some really crazy things last year that they announced, and we thank them for supporting Tandy Assembly. Ken Bruckner himself and Val C., who was also an engineer at Tandy back in the day, supporting us as individuals. Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate the support. Bartlett Labs, Peter Bartlett's organization. Unfortunately, Peter Bartlett's not going to be at the show this year. He had some last minute things come up where he cannot make it, but Peter supports us every year with a generous donation. Peter, of course, creates the fantastic Mize and the M3SE products and the Meyer, the Model 1 replacement expansion interface. Brendan Donahue, the Coco VGA master, has a new product called the PyKey 10. Brendan is going to have a table or two at Tandy Assembly this year. I think he might have two. Yeah, he does. So you'll be able to meet Brendan. Thank you, Brendan, for supporting the show. Thomas McLaren's Digital Dinos. Thomas is not going to be at the show this year. He originally wanted to have a table, but he couldn't, but he did sponsor the show. As always, thank you, Thomas, for supporting the show. Everybody knows the Glenside Computer Club, the hosts of the annual Coco Fest. I believe they are going to have a presence at the show. They won't have a table, but there will be some of the officers there. Thank you, Glenside, for supporting Tandy Assembly. Jay Neuwirth, who I think joined us here. Jay's going to have a table there selling all of his goods and items. Jay, you want to tell us quickly what you're going to be selling at the show?
You're on mute, Jay.
Mute, Jay.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, Jay.
Okay, I'll actually be bringing nothing because I was hit with COVID and I am very sick and I will not be attending, unfortunately. So this was, I got it last week and I was at the emergency room this weekend and the doctor says to stay home for another 7 to 10 days on antibiotics and stuff. So
You'll be missed.
I'm going to be not there. I'm not going to make it.
That's a shame. This would be the first one you've missed, isn't it, Jay?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And I'm not happy about it, but I got to get healthy.
Look after your health. Yeah. Oh, get well soon, buddy.
Okay.
Okay. It's not going to be the same without you, Jay, but
Thank you.
thank you for supporting Tandy Assembly.
No problem.
The Dayton Microcomputer Association, Stephen Frey's group, are they supporting Tandy Assembly? Thank you, Stephen and DMA. Boise Peep Tree, the Coco historian, Master Coco historian. So I believe he's going to be attending, I think, but he sponsored our show this year. Thank you so much, Boise. Eddie Malfros, an individual Tandy collector, is supporting the show. Thank you so much, Eddie. This show, this podcast, and this YouTube show is supporting Tandy Assembly. The Coco Crew podcast, which had a glorious run of I think 99 episodes. They just ended earlier this year, but those boys are still around. And all three of the Coco crew are board members of the Tandy Assembly, so they're all going to be at the show. Thank you, Coco crew. Eric Newstatter, TRS-80 enthusiast and collector. Thank you, Eric, for supporting the show. Patrick from Europe, he's a TRS-80 enthusiast. He wanted to support Tandy Assembly. Thank you so much, Patrick. And finally, hey, Bert, what you working on? Supporters of Tandy Assembly. And Bert will also be, we also already mentioned that he's going to be giving a tech track talk. So that's our sponsors. Thank you, guys. And lastly, let's go through the exhibitors. So it's lots of things going on at this show. All right, first exhibitor is myself. So my exhibit is going to be a collection of TRS-80 Model 216 boards. And if you saw on Facebook today or Discord, I shared a sneak peek of what my exhibit is going to be. It's almost every different board that you could plug into Model 2, 16, 16B computer. I'm going to have on physical display up on boards. It's going to be about 30 different boards with some really rare examples like the one pictured here, which is an x86 compatibility board, which lets you run like CPM86 and early versions of DOS on your Model 2. Unfortunately, we don't have the software. I've not found the software that runs on this board yet. Maybe one day we will. But yeah, so if you're interested in the Model 2 line of computers, you don't want to miss that exhibit. Brendan Donahue is going to be exhibiting his Pi Key 10, and that enables the use of wired USB keyboards and Atari joysticks with the TRS-80 MC10. And of course, he's also going to have his Coco VGA product there. Peter Bartlett and Malcolm Ramey, as I mentioned, Peter's not going to be able to make the show, but Malcolm will be there, manning Peter's table. I think he's going to be displaying most of Peter's products for Peter, since Peter won't be there. And Malcolm will have his own fantastic exhibit like he has every year. Eric, I still have TBD under yours. What are you going to be exhibiting?
Yeah, well, obviously I'm going to have the stuff that I'm bringing up for the tech talk that Ian and I are giving, so that people can see those. And then I'm going to be displaying the RCA TV that the Model 1 monitor is based on, along with the Model 1 monitor, so you can see the differences. And then the UK and Australian monitor to show how it evolved.
Fantastic. Love that. Ian, you're going to have a table. What's going to be happening at your table?
Well, I've got usual display of some of the things that I produce, so that will be there. What might interest a few people, I'm hoping it will interest them, is Randy Kindig is bringing a Model 4 along that he can't seem to quite get it finished. Can't get it over the line. It mostly works, but he needs a second set of eyes over it to make it work properly. So I'll be setting that up and having a look at it and trying to whip that thing into shape. So might take up a little bit more table space with Jay out. Our tables are next to each other. I might use a little bit of that space for that purpose. We'll talk to you later about it, Pete. And yeah, I mean, that's what's on my table, but obviously I do other things within the Tandy Assembly, which we'll get to after this table review.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely cover that. Cool. Yeah, let's take that offline. Maybe you can just it'll be up to Jay, but you guys can work it out.
Yeah.
Great. Tim is going to have an exhibit. Tim, you want to tell us about your exhibit?
Sure. Yeah, I'm going to have a couple of things. One was pretty much cut and dry. It was like a pandemic project, but I'm going to bring the Chroma TRS that Ian manufactured. And I think it was done by Pascal, was the redone, but I'll bring one working. I'm actually going to have it hooked up to, so folks can see. I'll have a Commodore 1702 CRT and a modern display, so you can see what the thing looks like on kind of display versus that. And it is kind of fun. It's got a little thing called Chroma Basic, which I've poked around with, so I'll get that going. The other one will be of interest to Big Tandy stuff. So I don't think George is on. I see Peter, but George and I have been playing with this idea for TRS-80 GP for quite a while, and I'm going to demo it. We had some early success, which kind of lulled us into thinking this was going to be easy, but it's been a couple months of hacking to get this to work. So we've added real serial support to TRS-80 GP. So I'm going to actually show off Xenix working on TRS-80 GP, talking to like a VT100 terminal and other real terminals. So it's kind of a fun little demo, so that'll be good. And it's still a prototype, but I think George has plans to kind of merge it into the main line of the emulator eventually. It is a fun little thing, but that'll be there for people to play with and see what it's like. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Tim. Bobby Harden is going to have a Tandy 68K exhibit. He's going to have gathering. He's going to have some large Tandy business machines there, 8-inch machines showing Xenix and other 68K operating systems, maybe. Jeff Burt is going to have his table covering his hardware repair techniques. He's always doing repairs right there on the floor. So if you have a Pocket PC or a Model 100, Jeff will be very happy to talk to you and help you out. Michael Hill, a new exhibitor at Tandy Assembly, is going to be exhibiting Tech Dungeon. They basically repair and sell retro systems, and they're going to have some of their Tandy hardware there and some other items to sell. Arno is going to have a table, and Sasha's going to be there as well. Is that correct, Arno?
That is correct.
Good. And what's going to be happening at your table?
Oh, well, the retro store that Sasha was heavily involved with. So basically curating the old programs that we got permission to host and give them easy access to emulators and also real machines. And of course, this time also we'll be showing TRS-IO++. So, you know, we have our table directly next to Matt Boyton, so it's going to be kind of like a joint blending exhibit.
Awesome. And Matt Boyton's exhibit is titled TRS-80 Potpourri, various TRS-80 related projects, working with Arno. As we mentioned, and Jay mentioned, unfortunately, he's not going to be there. Sorry, Jay.
Oh, just one thing on that, Pete. You can Ian can have my table. Don't worry about the money. Keep all the money that I sent towards the project, towards the event. So I'm not asking for anything back. So he's got my table.
Thank you, Jay.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
No problem.
Randy Kindig, the host of Floppy Days, and an early Trash Tucker will be there with an exhibit about his podcast. Simon McCullough, a new exhibitor again this year. He's going to have a collection of Tandy PCs. So for you PC fans, don't fret. We're going to have some examples for you. Stephen Frey's Dayton Computer Museum is going to have a table displaying some of their collection of Tandy computers. Oh, this is going to be a fun one. Andrea Zaleski from Canada has an exhibit called Pastries and Pearls. So she runs a pastry shop up in Canada, and she is going to be selling baked goods and candy in the form of Tandy computers. So definitely looking forward to that. Going to be buying a few of those. Hopefully there will be a Tandy 6000 cupcake.
So, so that must mean that the average TRS-80 computerist is going to return home 5 pounds heavier than when they arrived to
10
Tandy
pounds.
Assembly. But it's worth it. I've tried their stuff when I visited Canada, and Andrea, for people who don't know, was the sister of Amy, who was doing the shirts, the t-shirts and hoodies back at the 2019 Tandy Assembly. So it'll be good to see Amy and her sister back running this this stand here. So I hope a lot of people patronize it. It's good stuff.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned Amy, because I want to give a shout out to her, because she designs our t-shirts every year and our show poster. So and just does it gratis. So I want to thank her so much for doing that every year and supporting the show. Mark Marlette, you all know him in the Cocoa community, the Cloud9 products. He's gonna have all the cool stuff for your Cocoa computer. He's been in business since 1994. Everybody knows Mark Marlette in the Cocoa community. You need a Cocoa part, he's the guy to go to. Frank Palazzolo is going to have an exhibit on the prehistory of TRS-80 graphics. He mentioned he's giving a talk about that, so he's going to have some exhibits and displays. And Kenneth Vrana is going to have an exhibit. There's lots of TRS-80s and related equipment for sale. So I guess he's primarily going to be a vendor. And we have a few other last minute exhibitors that'll be coming in. Essentially, all of our tables are sold out, so we got a full house. So really excited about that. It's really going to be a great show. I'm expecting that this 10-day assembly is going to be the biggest ever. So let's just talk about the schedule, and then Mav is going to talk a little bit about some of the things that he is going to be doing for us at the show. Again, Friday from 1 to 6 is the tech track classes. Saturday, we open at 9. There's a light breakfast provided, like bagels and coffee. Then Lawrence will be speaking. Exhibits will be open the whole time. Frank will speak in the afternoon. Then at 2:30 p.m. is going to be the auction hosted by Mav. What do we expect this year, Mav?
More of the same. Have you found my gavel? Do you know where the gavel is?
I've got it somewhere down here. I'll find it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So those who remembered last year's auction, I'm looking forward to doing it again. It was fun. I stood up there, talked as fast as I could, sold as quickly as I could, drank a cocktail or two. And I was hoping that I think everyone who wanted something, managed to pick up what they were after. So there's should be at least as much or more stuff, if the indications are correct, than last year. So we're going to be aiming at around 1 minute or less per item. So it'll be it'll approximate a real it'll feel like a real auction. So I'm quite looking forward to that. And being the person that's running the auction at any time during Tandy Assembly, if you have a question about any of the items or you want to test it, just come and tap me on the shoulder and I'll come and assist you, and we can test the items and see if they're how much you're prepared to bid on them. So yeah, I like the auction very much.
Yep. So if you're coming to Tandy Assembly, it'd be nice if you could bring something to donate to the auction. All the proceeds from the auction go right back into our funds for running the event. Tandy Assembly, we're not a non-for-profit, but there's no profit in Tandy Assembly. We never take any money out of the organization. It all goes back into making sure that we can keep running the show this year and next year. So if you have something just laying around the shelf that you're not using, Tandy related, please bring it. Somebody will buy it, definitely. Everything goes. So unless you bring something, really nasty, somebody will pay $1 for it at least. So and you'll notice the auction, we're trying to start a little bit earlier this year because we want to make sure that people have time to go and have dinner in the evening and come back, have enough time to come back in time for the evening events. Because the last few years, people were trickling in late, and the evening events, we really want to get them started by 8 o'clock. So we're going to endeavor to do that. Speaking of evening events, Mav is going to be running the trivia contest. Tell us about that, Mav. Mav may have lost connection. So if he jumps back in the next few minutes, I'll let him talk about that. Then I'll just jump on to Sunday. So Sunday, we open up at the same time, 9 a.m. We have the light breakfast again. Stephen Frey is going to be speaking. We'll have the exhibits, and then the show closes at 3. If you have an exhibit, okay, Mav's coming back in. If you have an exhibit, we ask that we clear out the show floor by 4 p.m. We have to be out by 4 p.m. Mav, you back with us?
Yes, let me just get the video back running again.
Okay. When you're ready, tell us about the trivia contest.
I should be back. Oh, I'll continue without the video and
Oh, we
sort
see
out
it.
what's going on.
It's on.
It's on. Okay. Yeah, it's a bit inclement weather here at the moment, so I'm dropping out from time to time. Everyone here was at last year's trivia game, I'm assuming. Yeah. Okay. It's more of the same. I've sort of, I think I've got it down to a fine art now. So we'll have the usual 3 goons up the front, the specialists, and then a trivia audience trivia game played at the same time. So and because we're going to run it a little bit earlier, I'm expecting that there'll be a full attendance for that. It will be quite an event. So everyone will get a answer sheet, and there'll be 10 very difficult to answer questions on the answer sheet, which I'll go through during the game. And then at the end, we'll have a countdown to see who is the smartest audience, the smartest audience team member. It was you last year, Pete. I don't know whether you're going to try to, keep up, go for it again, or whether you're excluded. Give someone else a chance. But
yeah, maybe I'll give him a chance in the audience. But Eric is going to be one of the stooges on stage again.
yes, Eric will be up on the stage. He'll be defending his title, and I haven't decided who to put up against him. I'll work it out once I'm there. I'm kind of thinking maybe Neil Blanchard and Matt Boydham or something, but we'll see when I'm there. I'll see. And it's always a great thing, and I try to like all of my my contributions to Tandy Assembly, I try to make them fun as well as amusing, and this will be it. So everyone will want to have a drink in one hand and a pen in the other, and no cheating. I mean, not going to be checking if people are cheating, but we're not fighting over, as we say in Australia, we're not fighting over cattle stations. So there's no need to look over at the person next to you to see what they've put there. Though that would be funny if someone wrote a wrong answer and then everyone in the place copied. So I've done a bit of pub trivia in my time. I've attended a few of those things, so I've tried to bring elements of that into it. And some of those pub trivias towards the end of the night can get a little bawdy once everyone's had a drink or two. So that will take roughly 30 to 40 minutes, I think, and then there's just evening entertainment.
Yeah. And I believe we are going to have the mini bar again. The hotel will be serving drinks on the show floor again this year. So take advantage of it.
Please do patronize that. Yeah.
The trivia contest is the highlight. I think if somehow Eric wins again this year, next year there's going to have to be a playoff between Mav and Eric.
Yeah, set me up to lose next year if I win this year.
We'll have to figure that out.
But interesting thing I kind of it's probably no one really cares about, but it's worth mentioning, is that these trivia games are actually rather tricky to write. You did the previous ones, didn't you, Peter?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. There's quite a balance between. I mean, I could write a trivia game that the 3 people up the front do not get any of the answers, but that's not entertaining to anyone. Or I could make it so simple that it's borders on dull. So there's a fine line of trying to work out which questions will get a good competition running. So that's the key to writing a trivia game. So I've done the audience game already. That was fairly straightforward. I'm still working on the masters trivia game.
Even with the trivia game with the panel members, you want to put questions in there that the audience can get too, because they feel good when they're watching and playing along. They're like, oh, I got it before they did, So yeah, you're right. There's a balance you really have to look at. So.
Yep. It's coming together. So not to be missed. I'm hoping we get full attendance at that thing, and and that everyone goes to the bar beforehand.
Yeah, if anybody who's listening or has been there and you haven't come to the evening events, definitely come. It's like it's the highlight of the whole weekend. It's a lot of fun. So please do come. Stay up late, even if you're an early sleeper. I think I covered everything. So that's it for Tandy Assembly. We'll see you all next Friday.
Yep. Just before, on the last note of that, just I wanted to mention, for those who arrive on Wednesday night, we usually have a get together on Thursday to do something. I've been talking to Eric about it, and we seem to default, unless someone comes up with a better idea, to the usual visit to the US Air Force Museum at Dayton for Thursday, and then lunch at Hooters is probably what we're going to do. Those of us who fly in, I encourage them to do this because it's a non-computer thing and helps with your jet lag to get you all ready for Friday. So to start things on Friday. So yeah, once you get there, come and find Eric or myself, and if you're there on Wednesday night, and we'll
Looks like we lost Ian again.
Must have been a crack of thunder.
Yeah, so I'll finish it. Just come and find Ian or myself. And also, if you're on the Tandy Discord, there's a channel for it to put your information in, and you can send me or Ian your cell phone information for contact if you want.
yeah, send Pete, send Dittman your cell phone information, because my international phone doesn't work in the US, so I can only receive internet IP calls while I'm in an area that's got a signal, like in the hotel or somewhere. But yeah, Thursday, it's usually a pretty good thing.
All right.
Okay, so that's the Tandy Assembly part of the thing done and dusted. Any questions from people about it before I move on to individual Nope, nothing. All right, Peter Phillips, what are you up to?
Not a whole lot. I guess I did finish my article about the maze program last month we were talking about. That's in the TRS-80 bit, which was fun. And I actually, going through it again, I actually found out really what the correct fix is. The only thing I learned that is that basic programs can be pretty complicated, even though they're only a few hundred lines of code there. It's like they can pack a lot in. The only other thing was that George found a bunch of 68,000 test cases somebody made. So I've been running our 68,000 emulation through it. And I think that's in the latest build. I found a few mistakes here and there, usually involving the X flag and hopefully things that Xenix and a lot of 68,000 code wasn't using much. But eventually I'll get around to get the 68,000 to be more cycle accurate than it is right now. And yeah, George couldn't make it, but he did a lot of internal changes in the emulator to try to get the emulation more systematic. And now the 68,000 on the Model 16 is now running free from the Z80 instead of switching back and forth. So you can actually crank up the emulated 68,000 speed and get Xenix running faster.
Cool.
And the other thing is that he'll talk about it next time, but I think in connection with the serial port work, he found some kind of obscure problems in the serial emulation. I guess when interrupts happened, they could happen simultaneously, and this would cause characters to be dropped and things to generally mess up. So I think he came up with a solution to that. And since he's not here, it's like my opinion was, well, that's okay. It's a bit of a hack, but we'll probably work on
Totally.
Well, he just said he said the interrupts happening simultaneously is bad, so it's like he just arranges it so that the transmit and receive won't happen at the same time. It's like, yeah, I don't know what the real chip did, but I was too lazy to look into the details.
Yeah, it works surprisingly well, but I don't know whether it's principled or accurate. You're right.
Yeah, yeah. Otherwise, no, not up to too much.
You coming along next week, Peter?
No, I can't make it this year, unfortunately.
Okay, what about your brother?
I don't know, actually. We've both been kind of like hammered down on a project in the past month or so, but
Time poor, we call that. Time poor.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, it'll be a shame if we don't see you, but I mean, there's always next year, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for that, Peter Phillips. All right, Dusty. What time in the morning is it there?
It's 11 o'clock, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, nearly 11 o'clock at night. Yeah, yeah. So it's not
At
too
night.
bad. Yeah, yeah.
It's 7:45 on Sunday morning here, so you know, this is definitely a labor of love doing this thing. I'd rather be sleeping in.
Well, yes, every day, but
particularly in the middle of
winter.
winter.
Yeah.
but you got your church clothes on, I see.
Oh yeah, that's where I'm headed after this, to heckle the minister.
Oh, it's not the Reverend Ian then.
Well, I posed the idea of doing the trivia contest dressed as a priest, but that didn't fly. I don't know how that would fit in Middle America, in the secular heartland of Australia. That's like the funniest thing ever to appear as a vicar or a minister. But you know,
Perhaps,
it's,
yeah, perhaps Doctor Who would be better, something like that, maybe. Anyway, yeah.
I went as I was one of the doctors last year.
Yeah, because you had a bad cold, didn't you?
I had a cold, but I did have the full John Pertwee velvet
Yeah.
suit
Yeah.
happening, and
Very posh.
put everyone who saw me had a big smile on their face, so they must have knew.
Yeah.
They must have known. All right, sorry, Dusty, go on.
That's all right. Yeah, can I just wish Jay a speedy recovery, mate? It's a real nasty one, that is. Dee and I got it sort of late last year, and she was very poorly with it. And as I say, it took me ages to get over the damn thing. But anyway, get back to it.
Thank you,
Yes.
Dusty.
Okay, mate. It's just the TRS-80 bit. I was absolutely fascinated by there was a couple of very brief bits that Leon found, and sticking a Raspberry Pi into a Model 100. I don't know if I'm altogether happy with it, but I thought it was a sensible idea because it was just so unusual, I thought. And of course, if you got the Pi up and running there, you could run TRS-80 GP. So I thought, oh yeah, what a brilliant idea. So it just caught my imagination, together with the two chip memory expansion. I still can't get my head around that, but it was, if you follow up the link, it was quite exciting. It turned out to be one of the best September issues we've ever done. Normally it sort of goes a bit quieter towards the end of the summer, but it was a really nice one. So it's the Christmas one coming up, guys. I know ET's working on a one-liner, so if you can think of anything, or perhaps Mav, you'll do a report on the TA for us, would you?
That's usually what I do. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
take
that'd
some
be brilliant.
photos and
Yeah,
write
yeah,
up about the highlights. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's a
yeah,
shame you
yeah.
can't make it, but you know.
yeah. Well, there's no way I could get, but that's it. Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah.
apart from that, I'm just starting to think about next year's little changes and bits and bobs. But yeah, we're plodding along merrily. TRS-80 GP rules okay. I think we'll have to change that too.
Yeah, I've noticed vintage computer prices in the UK are slowly ebbing their way up, sort of month upon month, year upon year. Looking at the closed eBay sales, I mean, there's still bargains to be had there, but some of the things are getting up there.
Yeah, I think Steve Marshall seems to be buying up everything he can get his hands on. I
Yeah.
don't know what he's doing with them, but he must have a big room because I'm
Yeah,
under strict instructions. There's no more room.
There's
Well,
always
yeah.
more room. There's always more room.
You can always Tetris more and more stuff
True, yeah. Yeah,
into a
yeah.
place. But yeah, looking at the prices of things on there, you got to remember that the UK pound is an exchange rate. That's quite a bit more than the US dollar. So some of those things are certainly getting up there. So
Yeah.
yeah, for a long time the UK was a good place to get cheap stuff for a while, but I think the hobby is now growing there, which is well, it's good for the hobby. So.
Yeah, it's strange. I get very little feedback from the UK. Most of the contributions come from abroad, and it's strange, but just one of those things. In the day, of course, there weren't anything like as many Tandys in the UK as there was in the States. And the worst thing about it in the day, that the $599 Model 1s were £599 in the day. And at that time, the dollar exchange rate was $2.40. So Tandy were being a little bit mean, I thought.
Yeah. Well, even with the cost to import them, they you would expect them to put the price up a bit, but they certainly saw it as a way to keep Intertan UK afloat.
Yes, yeah. But no, I say it was. We're chugging along merrily. Hopefully, things will progress. I'm really looking forward to the videos, and I'll try and.
Good on you, Good on you, Dusty. Yeah, no worries. Okay. Yep, you're muted. All right. Let's see who's next. Paul Metcalf. Hey, mate. What's up?
Oh, not a whole lot. Not going to be able to make it this year. Scheduling conflicts at work with other people on vacation.
You didn't get your leave form in early enough. Is that basically it?
Pretty much.
I learned that when I worked in the corporate world, and sort of we have like all countries, we have public holidays in Australia, and because of the nature of the job I did in the IT department, we needed people to cover those public holidays, and so I got into the habit of putting in my leave form the day after the public holiday I forgot for a year in advance, and they sort of look at it and go, this is a year from now. I go, yeah, I'm not missing out next year. But so I was not loved by management in the corporate world, but the team generally liked me because I got things done. But yeah, so oh, you're not coming? That's okay. There's always next year. What you been working on? Anything?
Collecting mainly this past couple of months. Couple of extra additions for the Model 1 I've got. Couple of dust covers that have come up recently, and now I've got one for the monitor, got one for the keyboard unit.
You got those new dust covers from Etsy, those cloth ones?
No, Tandy ones, genuine Tandy, vintage.
Yeah, those are hard to find in good condition.
Yeah, they are. And I got a one disk drive one. I just need 3 more. and a cover for my DMP 200, if I can find one. But other than that, scored a Vox box in its original box, but missing the software cassettes. I found the software online. Obviously, I just need to make him back into cassettes, and because if I understand, it conflicts with the Fred, so I'm not going to bother putting it on my Fred. But and one I've been looking for a while.
Oh, one of those. Yeah.
Anti-glare mask, unused. Original tape on it still. I don't think I'm going to put it on the monitor, but
is that one green? Or...
Nice to have, though.
Is that one green, or it looked green when you pull? Can you pull it?
Yeah, it's a green one.
Is that original? I didn't think they made them green.
Yeah, it's got
Yeah, they were original.
Okay.
Your background's not letting us see it.
Yeah, let me see if I can figure out how to turn that off.
Yeah,
In
but
your settings.
yeah, that green window, that's not an official radio. Is that an official
I
Radio
don't
Shack?
think it's an official Radio Shack package, a product, I don't think.
I think it's
It's a third
Yeah.
party, isn't it?
No,
yeah, I
it's
think it,
catalog 260511.
Wow.
yeah, that's the original mesh screen, is that catalog number, but the it's been put into a Radio Shack packaging. That's an aftermarket green screen by a different company, but they're still handy.
Oh yeah, it's still in mint condition, not a scratch on it. And
That's probably the only one that's in mint condition because they scratch easily.
probably.
Yeah.
So
I hate those things.
Yeah, the screen, the anti-glare screens are polarizing. You either love them or hate them. I put one on every computer I used to have because this is a sunny country with big windows and lots of light coming into our offices, so you need them here. But the mesh ones I thought were good, but if you look at them, depending on the angle you look at them,
They would
you can start.
they would go fuzzy.
Yeah, that's the ones. But no, that's cool. Oh, and your Chroma TRS is working well.
yeah, thanks to a little help from Tim and figure out that I need to watch how I'm assembling cables when I'm assembling cables.
Yeah. I built another one which I'm bringing along to Tandy Assembly. I'm going to get Tim to test it for me to make sure it works.
Yeah.
And then that'll be available for purchase. So
I saw Tim did a sneak peek picture on I don't know whether it was on Discord or one of the Facebook group pages, but I like that case, that 3D printed case that you made for it there with the
Yeah, my son did that. It's really nice.
it does
Yeah,
look pretty
I-
neat, I've got to admit.
I like that better than the
I'll bring my bag of like parts for that thing too. So if anything's wrong with yours, we'll be able to fix it.
We need to have a mouthman competition at Tim's table.
Yeah, I got the joysticks ready to go. I got to find my second Atari joystick, but then we can go. We'll be.
Yeah, just old school. Write down what your high score was after playing it.
That's a surprisingly well done. So I know Robert French has showed up a bit on Facebook. I hope he comes to one of these or gets to Tandy Assembly at some time. He was the original author of, I believe, all of that like software.
And very young at the time, which
high
is
school, I think.
quite incredible. Yeah, so that's good. All right.
One final question for the group on multi-DOS. I know there's going to be the talk about multi-DOS on the Tandy Assembly, and you said it's going to be supported by the Fred. Is it going to be a Fred file available out there somewhere, an image for us to?
Yeah, ping me. I can get you ones. I've got a USB stick for Mav when I get to.
Okay, because I know I've seen
your Vernon usually sends stuff to Ira, but I don't know what the deal is with the Fred stuff. So I'm bringing a couple sticks with all the updated stuff, but you can get it. Just ping me.
Okay, because I know I've seen the preliminary one on your GitHub from last year, but I didn't know if it was a more finalized.
Yeah, that works fine. I mean, depending on what you're doing. I don't know how much. I don't completely know what Vernon has updated, so we'll try to get that. But you have a slightly newer version, but
There he is.
still testing it.
Vernon.
Coincidentally, Vernon
Speaking
is
of Vernon,
Must have realized we're all
You can ask
talking about
the man himself.
Yep. We'll get to Vernon in a moment. All right, thanks for that, Paul. Eric, anything to report, or just like me getting ready like crazy for the long trip?
Yeah, just getting ready. And as I said, I'm bringing the TV, but while I was testing it last week, the video collapsed in it. So I'm going to actually bring two of the monitor versions. And while we're there, see if we can do a transplant. Because obviously the video section's the same.
Well,
It's
the
just
baseboard is
tuner's missing. Yeah.
The baseboard is probably the same. If the tuner is just a card that plugs in, then you might be onto something there. I hope we got the insurance sorted out for the place. There's some serious vaults inside that thing, so just double check that before we pull the back off and hit 13k volts.
Everybody have your
21 gigawatts.
Yeah. I'll just bring some rubber kitchen gloves to work on them. That usually suffices.
I've got my homemade discharge tool, so.
Tool and everything. Cool. I used to be able to, probably like most of us, used to be able to hear a CRT monitor when I was younger. Now I can't hear them anymore. I can't hear the flyback whine. So often I'll be working on one and forget that I've left it on, and it reminds me in short order that it's still on when I go to do stuff. So fun stuff. And hilarious for those watching. All right, Eric. Jay, any here you're not well, so hope you're on the mend soon. They give you the all clear that you're gonna, be over this thing soon.
Right now the doctor wants me to stay home, but I don't know. I might fight it and still try to make it. But right now, I don't have plans to do it because I don't want to take no chances. I'm not a young.
No, that's fair enough. What is it? Lots of rest and lots of fluids, basically. Is that the?
Yeah, pretty much. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at a family event and 24 of us got it.
Wow.
Yikes. Okay.
Yeah, so we got 24 of my relatives out with it too.
That's
But
amazing. So the Rona is still a thing in the United States.
It's starting to come back again.
It hasn't been in the news or anything here for most of this year, actually. So
yeah, they've been keeping it quiet, but the hospitals are starting to see cases rise, and there was possibility of bringing up the mask mandates again, but so far they haven't done anything. But and supposedly the new boosters are out now, so.
Yep. Cool. All right. Well, I hope you get a speedy recovery.
No, thank you, and I'm sorry that I won't be here. I'm gonna miss all you guys.
And we'll miss you too, Jay.
All right, moving right along. Let's see, Quinnan. What's up?
I got a little CW2 DMK news. Back in April and May, I started figuring out how best to talk to the grease weasel. And what had stymied me for a long time was I thought I had to use a USB protocol to talk to the grease weasel. And then I discovered I don't have to. I can just use a pseudo TTY serial device. And once I got that going, and I quickly was enabled to get several simple commands going, that was, kind of May timeframe. And just right then, I also started developing some serious medical problems. So, and then it required an operation last month that I'm still recovering from. So hopefully in another couple of weeks, I'll be recovered enough to restart the work on getting a grease weasel version of CW2 DMK. And I might have a proof of concept by Christmas time, depending on how things go. So maybe now. It was so frustrating for years. I kept battling this thing with trying to get USB to work, and then I discovered someone else's software that was using a serial protocol, and it was like, it's like, oh, amazing! I made so much progress so quickly from my USB trials. So, but that's it. So maybe there's a chance we'll get something with CW2 DMK and Grease Weasel in a few months. As far as TA, I'm still planning to be there. I got me COVID shot yesterday, so hopefully that'll work out. With being there, I'll just probably be less lively than I was last year, as I'm still slowly recovering somewhat, but everything's going well.
Good.
When do you need a TM848 drive?
No, I'm all set on drives.
Cool. It'll be awesome to see you.
Yeah, and I'll bring a couple of more of those NOS drives to the auction too.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Cool. Looking forward to it.
Did you ever, Peter, did you ever get yours tested?
No,
No, okay.
it's on my shelf.
Oh, well.
I wonder how much of the stuff that sells at the auction goes straight on the shelf at the the new owner's place and then sits there till sometime later at a future auction. It gets brought back out again and resold. We used to. Those who know, I am a car enthusiast and used to go to car swap meets. Still do when they have them, and the comment we used to say was, you know, same heap of rust, different owner every.
I still have that giant bin of micro 80s in my library. I don't know what to do with that I picked up last year. Like 100 issues. What am I going to do with all of those?
Put them in your camper and take a trip across the country and read them.
There you go.
I was surprised when you bought them simply because they're readily available. I thought you probably owned all of them by now anyway. So it might be a process of just working out which of the doubles, keeping the best copies of them, and the rest becomes.
Yeah, I had a few holes in my collection, but definitely not that big a hole.
Yeah. No, that's so cool. All right. Thanks for that, Quentin. Tim, I know you've spoken a few things, but
yeah, I mean, other than getting prepped for Tandy Assembly, couple interesting acquisitions. I got kind of lucky and was able to pick up Max 80, which is the only computer that runs multi-DOS that I hadn't actually gotten one of. So I had a little bit of fun putting that back together. It was really nice outside, but it didn't work. So couple chips later and a new battery, and it's going great. So I also was fortunate to pick up a Model 4P, which is still sitting in the corner in desperate need of retro brighting. So I'm really looking forward to Hey Bert's talk on how to get these things to look good. I've done that before on other things. The other thing, one trick, if folks get the Max 80, which if a built like a tank is ever been applied to a retro computer, the Max 80 is built like a tank. It works great with an Apple monitor. I put an Apple II monitor on and it worked fine because I really didn't have a monitor that worked with it, but the Apple II one did. Been testing out Vernon's sent out some multi-DOS things. Been working with that and having a good time with running all the versions of multi-DOS on the, I mean, all the hardware that runs multi-DOS. So it's been fun. That's it.
In about 6 days, 5-6 days time. Arno.
Hey, Mav. Looking forward to coming to attend the assembly next week, of course, and going to be great to see many of you.
We can compare notes on jet lag.
Well, it's only 3 hours for us, so
only 3 hours for you.
But you know, there's this usual contingent from California coming to attend the assembly. So Sasha, Lawrence, and myself will be coming, as we've done for many years now. But in the back of my mind, I've always thought of maybe doing something here in the Bay Area. So we live in San Francisco, and I would like to take the occasion to announce that we're going to do a Tandy Assembly meetup on November 4th. So it's a little smaller format, so not the whole weekend, just to test it out and see how many people are here in the Bay Area. Let me I can screen share, I think, right? Let me
yeah.
Okay. So Sasha made a fancy little poster here. So it's going to be the first Tandy Assembly meetup on November 4th. I reached out to some local people I know that are here. So confirmed attending will be Arthur Gleckler. He also attended an earlier Tandy Assembly. He's the author of the Big Five game Weird. Lawrence will be there. Tim Mann confirmed that he's going to show up. Michael Wessel, he's the creator of Talker 80, and myself going to be there. So it's going to be hosted at my university at San Francisco State in San Francisco. And let me just move up again here. So you can scan the QR code, leads you to a Google form if you want to sign up. So if you know anyone here in the Bay Area who is a TRS-80 enthusiast, I would appreciate if you let them know, and let's see how that goes. So that's, I guess, the big news from my side, to see how big the community is, and then maybe go from there, and maybe then eventually do a Tandy Assembly West. But for now, it's going to be just a meetup, so just one afternoon on a Saturday. But yeah, that's from my side.
Cool.
Fantastic.
I hope it turns out to be a great event, and I look forward to that. I hope you're going to write a couple of page article for the newsletter for Dusty to tell us how it went, and some pictures and everything.
Sure,
And,
sure.
for the December issue, and I look forward to hearing about it. It's been a while that the idea that having another event at a different place for people who can't make it all the way to Ohio is gonna have an event. So I hope it all
This is
goes well.
Seriously encouraging me to do a Northeast meetup, Tandy Assembly. I hope it goes well for you, Arno.
Well, I mean, the Bay Area, I would imagine there are quite a few people here. So, I mean, the ones that I mentioned on the poster here, but I would imagine there are going to be quite a few more. So I'm just curious to see what the reception is going to be. It's also why I'm going to start with the meetup format, just to get a sense on how many people are here, and then maybe go from there, spring 24, then go for full-blown Tandy Assembly. But I think
yeah.
meetup
And there's
format
no
is
such
also-
Yeah, and there's no such thing as too much publicity. You got to get the word out there, because even now in 2023, I in my capacity as a producer of the things that I sell, I still hear monthly from people who say, I've never heard of Tandy Assembly, and I'm like, it's the biggest meet, and it's been around since 2017, and they're these are dyed in the wool TRS-80 enthusiasts who have never heard of it. Even it's very strange when I hear about one state over from Ohio and said, don't know, never heard of it. What's the URL? So, so I spend a lot of time trying to spread the word of it, and yeah, I'm sure that once the word gets out to all the people in San Fran, you'll get a good turnout.
Pete was kind enough to create a TA meetup channel on his Discord server, so I'm also posted the poster there. And yeah, just if you know anyone, please do me the favor and let them know.
Bring a poster and some flyers to Tandy Assembly. Put them on your
Will
table.
do. Will do.
Right. Okay. I know.
I'm just going to ask, will you be doing videos of it, Arno?
Probably not. And to be honest, I haven't quite decided exactly how to run the meetup. I'm going to be talking to you and attend the assembly next week to get some ideas on what to do. I mean, it's going to be just a 3-hour thing, so it's not going to be as formal. I don't want to do presentations. Maybe give people a chance to join via Zoom. But I haven't quite decided on how to run the event. So I'm also interested in some ideas on what you would suggest, but this might be a good discussion for when we meet up in Ohio next week.
Yep. Take the best things from Ohio and scale it down. Probably work well for you. Cool. See you soon, Arno.
Yeah, looking forward.
Yeah. Vernon, hey mate.
Hey,
How you been?
lousy.
Lousy. Well, nothing dire, I hope.
Well, it sort of is.
Got an illness?
No, it's my mouth.
Oh,
I broke a tooth in August, and it's kind of cascaded into a mess.
yeah, dentistry stuff. It certainly feels like our teeth aren't designed to last as long as we do. That's the downside. I had a bunch of dental work at some point, but are you past the worst of it? You on the mend?
Don't know. I won't know until Monday.
Okay. All right.
What's happening in the community? Quentin got sick and Bartlett is incapacitated and
Bartlett
Jay's got COVID. Wow, this is crazy.
Something going around the US. I know it's crippling the place. So at this stage, it's a definite maybe for Tandy Assembly, I guess, Vernon.
It's a no.
It's a no. Ah, it's a shame. I was looking forward to catching up with you.
So you.
Well, you've just been keeping well and working with Tim on things, I hear. So anything else to report, or just getting that tooth fixed?
Well, it's more than one tooth now.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And
Yeah.
I'm in pain, and I'm taking pain pills every 3 hours to try to survive, but it's been hard.
It's that bad. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
We're
wish you
sorry to
well.
hear it, and I hope hope your dentist can sort it out soon. But yeah, hang in there, and there'll always be another Tandy Assembly next year, so you can. We looking forward to seeing you then.
Yeah.
And
When I signed in, Tim was saying he was mentioning my name. Exactly what was he talking about?
Multi DOS on the Fred. He's going to be talking about it at Tandy Assembly. So
Okay.
yeah, you were right. It was
I updated multi-DOS started in July through September 4th. And Tim has the latest version of everything.
Yep, I'll
Cool.
bring it to Tandy Assembly. Show off. Seems to be working great, as far as I can tell.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's good. I was impressed with the demos of it last year when I was there, and I think the word was that just putting the finishing touches on it
Yeah,
to make
well,
it robust.
Yeah. When I did what I did, like August, I think it was August last year. The way to boot it up, it was very cumbersome. You needed an SD card for each rendition, and after Tandy Assembly, I put all of the Model 4 on one card, all of the Model 3 on one card, and all the Model 1 on one card. And I think JB Chris wrote this program that would call up the Fred ROM, and I made a diskette that works on all three machines, Model 1, Model 3, Model 4.
Nice.
Cool. Sounds awesome. I'm gonna hopefully have a little bit more time to look at it with Tim this time. So, all right, Vernon, thanks for joining us, taking the time to be here. Hope
All
by
the
next
best
time,
for your best for your teeth. Get well.
yeah,
Yes,
hopefully
yes.
Get it sorted out before the next one of these. Yeah,
Get rid of those pain pills.
yeah, they're a horror. Some of those strong pain pills, I know. All right, Vernon, take care. Randy, you just joined us, latecomer. Randall Kindig.
Yeah, hi.
Hey,
How
mate.
you doing?
Hey, Randy.
Hi, Randy.
How's everybody?
Good. We see you got a table at Tandy Assembly. We were just talking about it about an hour ago, of all the tables that are coming up. So now you're here, you can tell us highlight of what's on yours.
Well, I mean, nothing fancy. I'm going to have my floppy days stuff out. I'm planning on having a little bit of a tribute to James Shackle, who was at the show
Yep.
last year and passed away since then. So I'm going to have a little bit there to commemorate him. Also, we'll have his 4D there that he was in the middle of upgrading, and hopefully get some help from you there, Matt.
Yeah, I did mention that.
Okay.
Earlier. Yeah, I'll make some space on my table there, and we'll see if we can whip that bad boy into shape.
Yeah, awesome.
At the show. So that will be cool. No,
And then I don't know. I was thinking about bringing another Tandy item, but I'm not sure exactly what. I've gotten one of the high key MC10s from Brendan Donahue. I thought about bringing that or something like that, something small for the table. Put on there.
And if in doubt, just bring it, is what
Yeah.
I say. Play it by ear once you're there.
Just throw it in the car, right?
That's right.
Yeah, like the more the merrier at these things, and yeah, the feel of the show gives you the idea of what to put on your table and everything. But it'll be good to catch up for our yearly catch up. So,
Sure will.
Yeah. Cool. How's the packing going? I'm just about to start packing my suitcases and things and finishing off the trivia game. So
It was pretty easy for me to pack. I'm only coming a couple hours, so a couple hours away, so pretty easy.
if that was only the case. Okay, Randy, cool. Thanks for joining us, and it's good to be catch up with you in what 5-6 days time.
Yeah, I'll be heading out on Thursday morning. I'll be there for the Tech Talks on Friday, so it'll be first time attending that, and it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
That's so cool. All right then. Thanks, Randy. I think that's everyone, but I'm just going to go back to Peter Satinsky. So you gave us a big long rundown of Tandy Assembly and all the sponsors and what to expect. But just yourself, how's the packing of the truck and everything going for the long drive?
Well, I took the camper off the truck and put the cap on it so I can put stuff in the back. I'm good. My Model 2 card display is going to take up most of my 2 tables. I'm thinking, so I'm not going to bring a lot of other stuff. And unfortunately, I'm not going to have, for the first time, I'm not going to have my muscle with me. My son is not going to be attending this year, unfortunately. But he always carried the heavy stuff for me. So with my back being problematic, I don't want to carry any Model 2 disc bays or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Well, just tap me on the shoulder if you need help to lift stuff. I'm not the bastion of strength, but many hands make light work. So
Yeah.
happy to help out, unload anything there. Have you got examples of my cards in your display there, like the extender cards and the Type 2 repro?
I didn't, but I can bring them.
I think it's a good representation, and I'll appreciate the free advertising. Sure, people will point at them and go, "What the hell are those?" And then you can just sort of say, go ask him.
Maybe I'll have a little section on modern boards. I didn't think about that, but there are some other boards I can bring as well, like modern updates. Good idea.
Yeah. All right, that would be good, because that helps people that are interested in the machine to know that there are modern expansions available. It's not just a repair it and sit and smile at it type of thing. You can actually do stuff with it.
Sounds good. But just quick, going back to my son, I'm a little bummed because it was always like a father-son bonding thing with us, and it's like he's got a real job now, so he can't take that many days off, and he's growing up, and I'm kind of sad about it.
Yep.
They grow up fast.
Yep. I was going to say that if he's good at this job and sticks with it for a year, he might have some leave accumulated by next year's one. For those who like to see Geordie there, he's not going to be accompanying me this year. His best friend is having a wedding, which coincides with the same weekend, so he's attending the wedding. But he was saying he liked our yearly get together at Tandy Assembly, and so he'll be coming along next year. So
I was guessing that Geordie was staying there so he could watch the Magpies play the championship.
He's annoyed about that. His favorite football team, which in Australia is the Magpies, actually made it to the grand final, which is our equivalent of your Super Bowl. So he is kind of in two minds as to, he is committed to go to the wedding, and but he would ordinarily be going to the grand final to watch his team play. So I can see him being this kind of guy standing at the at the wedding ceremony with a cell phone like this, watching the game, and you know, when they say things like, "Does anyone have a reason why this two people shouldn't be married?" He'll yell "goal."
So football in Australia is rugby, right?
No, well, in the two northern states, it's rugby, but in the actual game that we developed here, Australian rules football, AFL, is a rougher version with no protective gear or anything, and you probably see sometimes video clips and things of it. That's what his team is an Australian rules team. It's a violent game that took me a few years to sort of get my head around the rules of the game, and now I quite look forward to it. The two teams that are up would make it quite a classic game to watch, because they both really dislike each other. So
it's a cross. It's a sort of cross between soccer and manslaughter.
A bit like that, yeah. It's actually funny that you mentioned that, because I went back in the history of AFL, and they said it was developed here by the cricket teams to give the cricket teams something to do during winter to keep them fit. And this is back in the end of the 19th century, so this is a long time ago, and the games just developed from there. But when the two teams that have been that have been fierce rivals since 1870 or something like that get together, it can sometimes be turned out like, I went and attended a fight today and a football match broke out, sort of. So.
Yeah, I was really surprised to find out that one of the big players for Collingwood is local boy from the Dallas area.
Yeah, I know. He's and he's like 7 foot tall or something, so he's ideal for the game, because a lot of the game is catching the ball. It's so the taller you are, the better. But yeah, he's made himself a home here, and is quite the star. So yeah, we're getting it's the game's just growing and growing. So yeah, unfortunately, like I said, Jord can't make it, but he'll be back next year, I think. Unless his team again gets into the grand final, but it rarely happens that they do it twice in 2 years.
We're going
All right, so we're coming up.
We're going to see some Tim Tams at the event.
Yes, I've got some here that I've packed, and they will comprise of prizes for the trivia game, and other things. And I'll put a couple into the auction to see to get some money generated for the Tandy Assembly Foundation. I think we're coming up to about an hour and a half into it. So, and I think I've been through everyone. So just last words. Anyone has anything else they want to say before we wind this thing up? Put their hands up. Yes, Jay.
Maybe somebody other can give me directions. I got a Model 3 keyboard, and the keyboard works fine. The only key that doesn't work is the reset. And I took it apart and I deoxied it, and I let it dry, and then I deoxied it a second time, put it back together, and it still doesn't work. Anybody have an idea what I should go from with that?
Oh, the only time I've ever seen that, I've seen that happen once, but all I did was went to my dead keyboard pile, unsoldered a reset button from that, and transferred it over. I don't think they're really designed to be pulled apart and cleaned. I mean, to confirm there's nothing else wrong, I would plug the keyboard in to the computer and just bridge the contacts with the reset button removed from the keyboard. Just bridge the contacts and pads on the board and confirm that the computer resets, and then get someone to find you another reset button. If needed, when you're next ordering some stuff from me, let me know. I can throw a working reset button in with it.
All right.
Cool. Thanks, Jay. Anyone else, or are we all good? All right, let's see. I'll go around the table. Peter, I'll see you there in 5 days. Quentin, I'll see you there in 5 days. Peter Phillips, probably not. Dusty, won't see you there. But I know you'll be watching the live stream. Tim Halloran, see you there. Arno, see you there. Jay, get well soon.
Thank
Vernon,
you.
get well soon. Paul Metcalf, work hard. See you next year. Dittman, see you there in well, you're there on Wednesday like me.
Yep.
So see you there for the Thursday get together. And Randy, good to catch up with you. All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. That's a wrap on number 35.
Take
Catch
care.
you
Thanks.
later.
See you all later.
All right.
See ya, TA.
Yeah.